What's up guys, it's Sean from Window Tint Warriors, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to tint the side windows and back window on a 2019 BMW 5 Series. And of course we're going to take the panels off to take those gaskets out. And I'm also going to show you how to take the rear brake light out on the top there. There's two little clips on the side, but stay to the end to see that because that's the biggest question we have with these. So let's get started with the outside prep. I'm going to pop the panels, show you guys how to preserve the clips. The BMW clips are usually very easy to break. I'm going to show you how to avoid that. Quick outside prep and then we'll pop the panels. So the tools we're going to need to take this panel off is a gasket stick, or bone gasket jammer, whatever you want to call it. It's a plastic stick, and a T15 torque stick. So to access the screws on this panel, there's only two. You have one behind here and one behind here, and it's all under this one cover. There's no screws anywhere else. The only thing we have to take off in this panel is going to be the speaker cover, but we'll do that last. So if you look underneath here, or if you're looking at the car right now and watching this video at the same time, there's a little slot where this stick fits. You're going to push it in, twist, and grab the piece at the same time with your hand to keep that consistent pressure. And you're going to want to work your way down to the bottom, not the top. It's a lot tighter up here. So we'll twist the stick, pop the panel back, pop the cover off. It's a little tight, but let's give it a nice hard pressure. The back side's going to come out first. Just be careful of the metal tab that's there. You don't want to scratch the door panel. And then we'll pull the top away. When you pull the top away, there's going to be a clip that's stuck. We'll just pull on that. And this little metal tab here, we just got to bend back in. Like so. That's it. We'll take the two T15 Torx tip screws out. There's one on the top and one down in the bottom. And we're going to roll the window down and take the speaker out. We're going to take the stick and go in this seam right here, and we're just going to push, and it's going to separate. And at the same time, apply pressure with your hand so those clips stay released. It is a little tight. And once you have that separated, push it forward. We'll separate it on the front. It pops out like so. Then you can unplug it. So we have the screws out, the speaker off. We can go ahead and pop this panel off and lift it straight up. Now after I get the door panel released from the door, I'm gonna take all of the clips off of the panel so that way when I put it back in place, it's not gonna reset those clips or break them. And I'll show you why we do that, because they're not common clips on normal cars. So I'll start in the front, pry the front forward, work my way across the bottom, up the sides. And once we get to right here, we're gonna lift the panel up, like so. And these are the clips. You can see they're not normal clips. When you actually pop the panel back on, they expand and hold themselves in place. So the less that you have to remove these and put them back in, the less chance you have of breaking them. So I like to take them all off the panel. They just slide off. Because when we're tinting a car, we're not gonna completely remove the door panel and take all these wires out. We're gonna leave the wires in place and just lay the panel back against the door and install one of the screws to just hold it snug in place. And then you'll have this clip in the door right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out, and that slides right back here. So now when you reinstall this panel, this is just gonna go straight into the door. I like to take the lock pin, don't pull it out, just twist it down like so. So if you keep it up here, the panel's gonna push against it and you could potentially bend it. So just push it down or turn it down forward and let it rest there. We'll take the gasket out, straight up and out. And we'll also remove this foam insert on the front so it's out of our way, but we'll just be sure to reinstall that after we tint the windows. So the panel we're gonna take and we're gonna lay it against as if we're reinstalling it. And I'm gonna take one of the screws, I'm gonna place it down in the bottom hole. So that's just resting down there. I'm gonna line up the panel to the screw hole. It's a little tricky to see. You're probably not gonna see it on camera. But the key here is kind of line the panel up as if you were reinstalling it. Find that threaded hole and just slightly thread it into that hole so that way the screw is what's holding the panel against the door itself so it's not hanging by the wires. Very snug, just not tight all the way. And you can see on the front, I don't have this wrapped around the metal door frame. It's behind it, so that way we have more room when we're tinting the window. Let's do the same thing on the back door. and then we'll do the inside prep and get the film installed. Now on the back door, it's the same exact thing. The only thing we don't have to worry about is the speaker. So we take off the same piece here, twist it, pull at the same time, release the back, release the front, push that tab back, take out our screws. Once we have the screws out, we're gonna come from the front of the door panel again. I like to use the gasket stick to kind of get between the door and the panel. Push it in there, twist and pull in the panel at the same time, and then we'll work our way around. Sometimes the clip will fall out, but we're gonna take them out anyway. So just put it to the side. Lift the panel straight up and away, and remove all of our clips. There will be one clip on the back door that is a normal clip. We're gonna leave that because that one will not break from us leaning it against the door panel. Reinstall that in its track. We'll remove the gasket. Again, we're gonna take the lock pin and just lay it forward. Now to remove this gasket, this pillar is kind of in a way, so you have to lift up the back, right? And then we're gonna twist it so that it clears that pillar and then pull it out. And we'll take the door panel again, just like we did in the front. Now we're ready to do the inside prep and tint it up. All right, so we got the outside prep. We got the door panels off, gaskets are out. We'll do the inside prep and we'll be good to go. Now, if you guys have seen the video where I tell you guys not to scrape the inside of the quarter glass windows, BMW quarter glasses for some reason are very soft. If you use a razor blade on the inside, you will scratch it. So we're gonna use a white non-score scrub pad just to make sure it's clean. This is a 2019 though, so it's fairly clean. Take a fresh blade. Get that blade holder from windowtintsupplies.com. This thing is awesome. Just do a light pass on the window. Make sure there's no adhesive residue or anything like that on the glass. I'm not pushing hard at all. Wipe it down. I'll do a quick flush down the sides for any dust. Water goes down into the door panel and out of the drain hole down in the front. It hasn't reached it yet, but if I spray enough water in there, it goes in the same exact area that the rainwater would right here. White non-score pad in the quarter glass. And we'll put the back window tools in the back. Bulldozer, scrubber, side swiper. All right, these windows are all prepped, ready to be tinted. We're gonna be using Kavacha 20% on the back windows and 35% on the two front doors. It's gonna be the Kavacha Charcoal CS. Do a quick flush. There's always gonna be dust. We'll grab our pre-cuts here. Again, Kavacha 20% CS charcoal on the back. And then we have the same material, 35 on the two front doors. And I'm gonna slap that quarter glass window on first, just to get that done and set up and out of the way. Do a quick spray squeegee spray with our 3.5-inch yellow turbo. Lay the film on the back of my palm, on the back of my hand. Line it up. And squeegee it out. Check from the outside, no contamination. Let's lay this back door on. Remember, we remounted the top edge just to make sure there's no contaminants across the top. Do a spray squeegee spray. 5.5-inch yellow turbo. Down the back side, or front side. Flush it out. Mist it up. Peel a liner. Bottom load it from the front corner first. That's why I love taking gaskets out. It makes it so much cleaner and easier to install. Get that front edge in, on the back edge up, shift it around, line up that top. Make sure there's no light gaps on the sides. Do a light mount. Sliding around a lot, so I'm going to heat up the top edge from the outside before I do any more squeegeeing, because this is exactly where I want it and I want to lock it in place. Squeegee the water off the top edge so that the heat transfers through faster. Obviously we didn't do the sides yet, but we're just going to get that center mounted Just warm to the touch. Mist it up again. Always want to spray before you squeegee. And we're going to hold it in place with the thumb. Do a nice hard press. And now that film is tacked into place really nice. Not going to move around on me. Overlapping strokes. Down the side. Hit it with the Easy Reach. WindowTintSupplies.com. And then we'll push out the top edge with the towel wrapped around the gray lid coat card with the heat gun. Nice tight gap on that top edge, giving it that factory look. And as a final step, I like to take the little chiseler and just go in the top corners and just give them a quick push with the heat on the outside. Once that's all good, we can go ahead and roll it up. Every once in a while, you'll have a little tiny dust speck. It happens. Nothing's going to be 100% perfect. As long as you work it out, then it's all good. We have the window rolled up. I'm going to squeegee straight down. Overlapping strokes. Then we'll go down the sides with the Easy Reach. And then, of course, seal the bottom edge with the gray lid coat card. No towel on the bottom edge. First, we're going to wipe the door panel down. Make sure it's not wet. And we have a finger right here. We'll shrink that really quick. Push it out. This door is complete. We can move on to the front. We're not going to close the door all the way because the door panel is off. We don't want to cause any damage. Just give it a quick wipe down. Now we can install the front door window, the Kavacha 35. Again, we're going to mount it in place on the top, wipe the top edge. Do our spray, squeegee spray on the inside. So spray, squeegee overlapping strokes to the back, down the back, and then we'll spray again. Flushing out the back and the bottom, and the front, and missing the center. Pull that liner. Notice how I pull the release liner straight down. Grab our material. And we're going to bottom load the front edge. Always bottom load the front. Keeping the back away. Get that front corner or side all the way in. And then we can bring down the back side. Top corner into place. Line up that top edge nice. And start squeezing it down into place. It is moving again, so I'm going to do this initial tack in the center. Slide it back how I want it. Heat it up a little. I probably just put too much soap in my bottle when I made it this morning, which is why it's moving around so much. So come from the outside and just make sure I have a nice tight gap there. Heat it up a bit. Remove the water from the outside. And just like the back door, when I do the next squeegee press, it's going to tack it into place and won't move around on me. Mist the window up, 5.5 inch. Make sure the squeegee is wet. Do a nice hard press. Tack that foam into place. Once I know it's not moving, I'll go from the front to the back. Overlapping strokes, then down the back side and the front. And what's the next step? Side swiper down the sides. I'm trying to make this very clear and to the point for you guys, so if you're trying to learn how to tint, very easy instructions. After the side swiper, we're going to push out the top edge with the towel and the hard card with the heat gun. It seals up the top edge so that you know there's not going to be any water dripping back down between the foam and the glass. And then we'll check it from the outside again. See, I have a little water residue there, so we got to push that out. I'll heat it up with the heat gun. Little chiseler. Not burning the side pillar, and mainly heating this area right here and allowing the heat to dissipate. Go across the top edge, seal up that front edge and front corner, and we're good to roll the window up. We have a little peel back or curl in the corner. Now spray the window first. If you ever get a curl like this, it's just from when you installed it, the film curled on the bottom. Pull it away at the lowest point. lay it down and let it fall into place. You never want to force it in there because you will get dirt, you will get a crease. We're going to squeeze you straight down from the center out. Overlapping strokes always. Side swiper down the sides. And then we'll seal at the bottom edge with the heat gun and the gray lid coat without any towel. Shrink that finger and just go across the whole bottom. So you always want to shrink fingers first and then seal the rest of the bottom. And of course, wipe the panel down. Apply some heat from the outside, wipe it down, check it over, make sure there's no contamination, no light gaps. Perfect. And we're gonna go to the back window, dryer sheet. Obviously we have to apply the dryer sheet to the back window. Twist it up, spread it out. I'm gonna go over the shrinking process and installation fairly quick with this back window. The main thing is gonna be that third brake light removal. So sometimes it can be a little tricky. I'm gonna show you how to remove it very easily. While that's drying, let's go ahead and pop these door panels back on. So that's done. By the time we're done with that, the back window dryer sheet will be all dry and ready for us to shrink. So in order to reinstall this door panel or door card, we obviously have to take the screw out that we have holding it in place. Pull that out so it doesn't drop on the floor and lose it. I'm gonna pull the panel away. There's no clips in this except for the one that was a normal clip. We'll grab all of our clips, lean the panel against the bottom of the door with your knee, and we'll just go ahead and reinstall these clips. Critical step to making sure that you're not breaking these clips. Just remove them, put the screw in there to hold it in place, reinstall them, and you're done. Just finish putting these in. So once we have all the clips back in the door panel, you're gonna take the gasket, goes in the front first, put it down, give it a little twist towards the bottom, and it clicks back into place. Then the next important step is gonna be the door lock pin. We'll twist that around, place it in this hole, and then we're gonna pull on the handle to make sure that door lock pin is all the way in the up position. That we don't wanna lose it in this process. We're gonna hang the top of the door panel on the gasket like so, and then just push down. So you see I was on an angle, push down, and then now it's clipped across the top. We can line up the clips on the bottom, kind of match them up with the hole. You don't wanna push until they're matched up with the hole. And then it sits nicely like so. Once it sits nice and snug and there's no tension anywhere, you can go ahead and smack it into place. And that sets all those clips to grip the door panel. Now once we have all the clips set into place, we can go ahead and just reinstall the 2 screws and then just cover to the grip here. It's a little tricky if your tip isn't that magnetic, but just get it in the hole, screw it in. We're gonna install the back first because that has the tab on the back. Obviously this came out first, but we're gonna put it back in first. Line up all our tabs, and then the top half, you kind of gotta pivot it, like give it a little bit of a bend. There's a little tab that goes in the front, and then we smack it into place. Then right here, one nice hard jab is what needs to be done to get this snug and into place. It is a tight cover to put on, all right? This door is all good. And we're gonna do the same exact thing on this door. The only thing different to do is we're gonna roll the window down because we have to access the front of this when we reinstall the speaker shroud or the speaker itself. So we'll take the screw out on the bottom that's holding the panel in place. And we have that clip that reset back into place. So we have to lift it up to get it off of that clip. Maybe leave that clip off until you put the panel back on because that will grip. Remove that, it's fairly easy. Twist it sideways and then the other way. We'll place our gasket back in first and slide them all into place. So I forgot to put that little foam piece that's in the front door here, or in front of the gasket. Definitely don't want to forget that. This piece right here, it just slides on the door panel or the door itself and then forward. So let's see how this goes. It's a little tricky, there we go. So the big gap on the bottom slides forward, there you go. Now we can put the gasket back in. Front end, slide it forward, straight down. All the clips are in, white clips in. We're gonna lift the door pin up. Slide the front of the door panel on first. You can see if you look from the front side. We're gonna get that front tab on first. And forward, like so. And then we'll take the lock pin, put it in its hole, and drop the panel down. We have the foam there. We're gonna slide the panel back and forth a little to line up the clips. because we don't want to smack it in place until the clips are lined up perfectly, or they will just simply break. So we lined up. All right, let's go ahead and put these 2 screws back in first. Line up the hole with the tab, line up the front, a slight bend, hit the front first, hit the back, hit the middle. Done. Now we can reinstall the speaker. Of course, we're going to plug it in first. Make sure the wire is in there nice. And then we're going to wrap it around the front first, push that in, and then we'll come around the back. And then make sure these tabs line up with the holes. Push it straight in, move it around a little so it clicks into place. And you always want to make sure there's a front hook on this. You want to make sure that that is all the way up in the top corner. Otherwise, it's going to rub on the window. Now we can roll the window up. And since we bottom loaded and heat sealed the top and bottom edge, we can roll this down, up and down with no problems at all. Now the back window is dry. The dry sheet's dry. We're going to grab the pre-cut 20% Kavacha Super Tint. Lay it out. Doesn't have to line up perfectly. We're using pre-cuts. We'll mount our H pattern down the center, sides. And we'll shrink this up really quick. Split our fingers up really quick and send it. I love shrinking with this felt hard card, windowtintsupplies.com. You literally cannot mess up if you hit a piece of dirt because it's extremely hard, but it's soft at the same time and won't grab dirt and rip the film. Definitely a necessity. We're ready to prep the inside of the window, take that brake light out, drink some Starbucks, and install this film. One thing we will need to bring into the back window or the back seat, other than the back window tools, is a pick tool. A slight angle there, that aperture. Scratch the scalp, climb into this dark area here. So we have this cover, and then we have the light itself. To remove the cover, we're going to take our gasket stick, pull that down, straight down, 4 clips. And then now to remove the brake light itself, there's a little tab here. Push it in, pivot out. Same thing on both sides. And then it just falls straight down. Give it a little push to the side if it's stuck. Sometimes these clips get stuck on the metal tab. Just need a little motivation to pop it off there. They do separate, so you can do that. It's just a tab here, and then a tab locks it into place like so. The tab just slides on there, and then when you line it up to the metal tab up here, it basically just grabs it like so. So we can leave those attached. We'll just pull the plug out from the module up there. And now we can do our inside prep, lay the film on, and call it a day. Scrub up this back window. We'll scrub it, wipe it down, wipe. And then of course we're going to spray, squeegee, spray. Need to make a shirt that says that. Overlapping strokes from the top as far as we can go down. And then we'll hit the rest with the side swiper. Give it a light mist before we hit the side swiper so we can overlap. Then I'm gonna spray, and I'm also gonna check in the trunk to see if there's any modules that are exposed that could be getting wet from when we install the material. This access panel right here. I'm just gonna cover this just in case. I don't believe water drips on top of it, but it's always way better to be safe than sorry. We'll do our Frankenstein peel. Mist up the film so it's not staticky. Peel the liner, soak it up really good. Pizza pie. And Frankenstein it in. Over the headrests. Line up the bottom. Slide it down. Always want to line up that bottom edge first. Bring the top up. Create a gap on the top. And then slide it up just enough so that it covers the light gap. That way you know you have just the right amount of material on the top and no light gap on the bottom. Spray the film up. Use the back of our hand to smooth it out. If there's any air pockets, squeegee it 5 inches from the top, from the center out. Straight up. side swiper from the center out. We'll do the other side. And then we use the bulldozer to finalize it. Same thing from the center out. As a final step, I like to take the yellow turbo, wrap it with a towel, and just push out that top edge to make sure there's no water that's gonna drip between the film and the glass. See a little patch of water residue right here? Make sure I squeegee that out first. A quick once over. Reinstall this brake light, plug it in first, hold the clips out like so, put it up into place, and push them, give it a little wiggle, and they'll clip right into place, like so. Then this cover just goes straight up, line the holes up, and a couple taps and it's in place. Of course we're going to wipe all the seats down, the water drops. So we use baby soap, doesn't damage interiors. Do a couple pushes on the trunk. What this does is get any water to drip if it's going to drip. Put a little movement in there. We'll open it up and I'll put my hand in there to see if it's wet. Oh, we're good. It's actually dripping from right here, which is a good sign. We don't want it dripping on top of electronics. It's got to drip from somewhere. So we'd rather it drip from this latch here than anywhere else. So they changed it. It used to drip right on top of the computer. We'll wipe the dryer sheet off and this car will be done. Obviously checking over our install, making sure there's no contamination. All right guys, now that is how you tint a 2019 BMW 5 Series with the panels removed, the gaskets removed, and the rear brake light removed on the back window. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Tint Wiz Ceramic Pro. Check the links. It's only got 400 miles and it's 2019? Weird. It is 2021, right?
2019?
No, it's 2021.
The year is 2021.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You got me scared for a second. Quick air peel. Grab the liner, grab the tint. No. Save that for the bloopers. Then slide it up just enough so that it covers the light gap. That way you know. That way you scared the f out of me. That way you know you have just the right amount of material on the top